the system. Because everyone at this point in time knows what the deep state is, right? Deep state this and deep state that, and people have their own version of the deep state. But I have always maintained, and I still do to this day, the deep state, calling it a deep state, not that it's bad, you're underselling exactly what it means. Because when you think about something like the deep state, here's what you think about. This is human nature. You think about state employees. And don't get me wrong, it's a big problem, but you think about the IRS, FBI, DOJ, CIA, NSA, all these state groups, these government groups working together against you and against elected officials you like. And that's what comes to mind when you think about deep state, the swamp, Washington, D.C., right? But the truth is, it's so much bigger and more nefarious than that. If it was only the deep state, it would be a problem, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. The problem is it's much more than a deep state. The problem is it's a system. That's why I call it the system. You can think of it as, well, the thing that really controls everything in our culture now. Now, what is it? Who are these people? Name names. Give me some details. I'm going to give you an example of it in just a second. Just to set it up, I want to make sure that I re-emphasize this. Equality is a lie. It's something that has been used to usher in equity and communism in this country. But this is something, and this is going to come into play in a moment, equality. We're all equal. No, we're not. None of us are equal. That's a lie. Oh, soul's equal in the eyes of God, maybe, but you're not equal to me. I'm not equal to you. We're made different flaws, different skills, made for different purposes. I'm not equal to the guy on the sidewalk. You're not equal to this. Equality is something that doesn't exist. And here's something else that's true, and people find this hard to accept because we all like to imagine ourselves as being important, right? I'm no different. I want to be important. I have a TV show. I have a radio show. I'm important. Not really. Not really. We have different levels of importance when it comes to the direction of society. We're not all equal. That's ridiculous. If you are a teacher, maybe you're a school teacher. We have a bunch of teachers. Believe it or not, there are a bunch of anti-communist teachers out there. We have a bunch of teachers that listen to the show. You have an important job, of course. Guiding young minds, it's a very important job. You're going to have some influence as a teacher in what the future of the country looks like. Are you Lord High Commander? Of course not. But every year, 20, 30 kids come into your classroom and they're given guidance by you for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day. They're younger, even longer. Okay, so you have a level of importance. Let's call it here. Well, if you're in construction, that's how I grew up. Construction guy, I'm a construction guy. My dad was, his dad was. And that's a great job, great living, good hard work, keep you alive longer, good exercise. I'm glad you're doing it. We need construction guys, but you're not where the teacher is as far as importance goes, as far as influencing the culture. Now, what you do matters. Matters for you, your family, your paycheck. It matters to build the world around us, but as far as influences the society goes, the teacher is above you. Different people have different levels of influence. So let's talk about what the system is. The system is this. Cultures, all of them, whether it be a nation, America, a big nation, 300 million people, or whether it's a tiny tribe of 100 people out in the Australian outback, cultures have pillars on which the culture itself rests. The most important thing. What's most important in a society? Is your local book club important to society? Not really. Is the religion of the society? Yes, very. That's one of your cultural pillars, religion. Media, how information is shared about things. Education, hugely important pillar. Business, the business part of your society, hugely important. The government, huge. These are the big pillars that hold up every society, the most important things. Everything isn't equal. The problem we have in America, the problem we have in the system is our most important pillars have all been taken over and governed now by the same cultural Marxist ideology. They all now, instead of serving as a check on each other, now they're all working together at all times, and they're always working against you. You see, the deep state is simply one of those pillars. Very, very important, don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't be the end of the world if the other pillars were keeping it in check, but they're not. You see, the deep state, they work right with the media. They work right with social media now. They work right with various other pillars, always against you. You want an example? Here's a great example. The George Floyd thing. This is maybe the best example. Now, what happened? Go ahead and recap this. This is an important part, not because of the case itself, not because St. George Floyd matters or the cops matter or anything else. This is a great example of the kind of culture you have now and the damage that can be done with a corrupted system. You woke up one day and there was this terrible video floating around the internet. And then it got from the internet to the news. What was on the video? What was on the video was there was this cop, white cop, with what looked like his knee on the back of the neck of some sweaty, shirtless black dude on the pavement. The black dude was kind of crying out. He didn't look well. He didn't sound well. And you're looking at this video. The cops are standing around. The knee looks like it's on the neck. Oh my gosh. And then the guy dies. And right away, you're watching. And you know, as a human being, it doesn't look good, doesn't sound good. Doesn't really matter where you fall in the whole thing. It was kind of ugly. No one wants to watch somebody sit there and die and sweaty. It was terrible. But that didn't mean we needed massive policy changes across the country. It didn't mean corporations had to realign themselves. The government had to realign itself. Okay, it was one internet video. Let's figure out what's wrong. Okay, where was this? Minneapolis? Okay, well, hopefully Minneapolis, investigates. If there's someone did something wrong, hopefully but that's not what happened, did it? What happened was the system, all those cultural pillars, realized that they had been presented with an opportunity. They had been presented with an opportunity to crush more of your freedoms, to attack more of what you value, to push what they want forward. And so they use this internet video to shape our entire culture for 6 months to a year. You still see little remnants of it out there. Do you remember DJs dropping beats on rooftops to George Floyd, the drug dealer?
So this record is in honor of George Floyd. And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
Okay, that's what? And all of a sudden, George Floyd statues, many are still standing, all of them actually are still standing, begin popping up across the country. There were George Floyd funeral services, multiple funeral services across the country. We had not just Democrats, Republican senators like Tim Scott deciding, because of one internet video in Minneapolis, that the cops were the problem in the urban black community, which is ridiculous. And you can hate cops all you want. I don't care what you feel. I don't do universal back to blue. I don't do universal cops are evil. Everyone who does that kind of stuff is stupid. Each incident is on his own. But all of a sudden, it was just the thing to do on the left and the right. The cops suck. The cops are the problem. The cops are ruining the black community. We had politicians and the media, those important pillars out there, in the wake of one internet video calling for the defunding of police.
In Oakland tonight, defunding the police has become a reality.
The LA City Council has taken its first step in defunding the LAPD. Today, the council voted to cut the budget by $150 million.
Do we agree that we can redirect some of the funding?
Yes.
I do believe that we need to reallocate resources away.
So yes, defund your butts.
The city council passed the New York City budget, which includes redistributing $1 billion from the NYPD budget.
Yes, I support the reallocation of resources from NYPD.
We have to reimagine public safety.
Not only do we need to disinvest in police,
but we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
What? You still wrap your mind around how crazy that was? George Floyd, what happened with St. George Floyd, it was a system in action.
Support the First TV today and get instant access to exclusive specials like Who is Ron DeSantis, the history of FBI scandals, and America's worst presidents. Visit thefirsttv.com/support or download the First TV app to become a supporter and start watching today.